We've closed out 2025 and we have moved into 2026. As we begin this new year, I wanted to take some time to look back at the episodes that resonated most with you, the listeners, in 2025. These are conversations you kept coming back to, the episodes you shared with friends, the lessons that made you stop and think, yes, this is what I needed to hear. Welcome to the Seasons of Joy podcast. My name is Jill Pack, and this episode is 186, entitled 10 Takeaways from Top Episodes of 2025. But before we dive into today's episode, I wanted to talk to you about something I've been working on, something I'm really excited about, because I think it's going to help you a lot. I've created something called the Conflict to Connection Challenge. It's 30 days of emails designed to transform how you navigate conflict in your most important relationships. And this is why I created it. I talk to women all the time, whether it's in coaching, through my podcast, social media, and I hear a lot of the same things. Women are tired of walking on eggshells. They're tired of replaying those conversations in their mind for days, wondering what they should have said differently. They feel like they're failing at the relationships that matter most to them. And maybe you feel like that too. Maybe you're listening right now and you're thinking, yes, that's where I am. Most of us were never taught how to navigate conflict well. We learn to either fight or flee, to defend or shut down, to win the argument or keep the peace at all cost. But there is another way, a way to stay grounded when conflict arises, a way to set boundaries without building walls, a way to love someone fiercely, even when you completely disagree with their choices. And that's what this challenge teaches. Every day for 30 days, you'll get a short email. We're talking 3 to 5 minutes to read, with one simple insight and one small action that you can take that very day. We start with your nervous system because you cannot think your way through conflict when your body is in fight or flight mode. All those communication tips that you've learned don't work when you're activated. So we're going to learn how to regulate your nervous system first, how to create that space between stimulus and response so that you can choose connection over reactivity. Then we're going to move into mindset shifts, things like both and thinking instead of either or, understanding what you can actually control, and here's a spoiler, it's not other people's choices. We're going to talk about developing self-compassion so that you're not fighting yourself and the other person at the same time. And in week 3, it's all about practical tools, the exact communication strategies, boundary setting techniques, and repair attempts that I use with my own coaching clients. And by week 4, we're integrating it all so that these tools become your new normal. This is not just theory. Every single thing that I teach in this challenge, I've lived. I've used these tools with my own adult children. I've used them with my spouse, with my extended family, in situations where I thought there was no path forward. And I've watched many women in my coaching practice transform their relationships too, not because the other person finally changed, but because they learned to show up differently. So if you are tired of being exhausted by conflict, if you want to navigate conflict feeling empowered instead of powerless, if you're ready to learn tools that actually work in real relationships, I want you to join me for this challenge. It's completely free. You can sign up right now and start tomorrow, or you can wait and start whenever you're ready. It's evergreen, so there's no pressure. All you have to do to sign up is just click the link in the show notes. I would love to walk these 30 days with you. I really would. So with that, let's dive into today's episode. Today, we're doing a countdown of the top 10 most listened to episodes of the year, and I'm going to share one powerful takeaway from each one. I want you to think of this as a year in review, a celebration of the growth that you and I have experienced together, and maybe a reminder of something that spoke to you months ago that you need to hear again today. What I love about this list is that it tells me what matters most to you. You're hungry for tools to navigate your relationships differently. You want to understand yourself better, why you react the way you do, how to feel your emotions without being overwhelmed by them, and how to build the kind of resilience that lets you show up as your best self even when life gets hard. And the beautiful thing is every single one of these episodes is about transformation from the inside out. They're about becoming more of who you were always meant to be, a woman who can hold space for hard conversations, who can love deeply without losing herself, and who can experience joy even in the messy middle of life. So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's count down together. We're starting at number 10, and we're working our way to the episode that resonated most with you this year. Coming in at number 10 is my conversation with Jancee Wright in episode number 139, and we talk about creating spaces that actually work for us. Her message was a powerful one. Stop organizing clutter we're never going to keep. Why are we spending time arranging things we don't even want? Jancee walks us through her framework. First, you clarify what a space should actually do for you. Then you simplify, keeping only what you genuinely use and love. And after that, you give everything a home address and label it so everyone in your family knows where things belong. Then comes the fun part, adding your personal style. And finally, you create those little habits that help you refresh and reset your spaces. But I think the real takeaway here is finding what's organized enough for you. It's not about trying to match what you see on social media, on Pinterest. When you can do that, you can stop being the manager of your stuff. You can become the creator of your life. And that shift changes everything. At number 9, we're diving into why you say the things you don't mean when you're upset. And this is from episode 183, Why You Keep Reacting the Way You Do. Have you ever had that moment where words come flying out of your mouth and you immediately think, where did that come from? Here's what's actually happening. Your survival brain, and I like to call it the toddler brain, perceives a threat and completely shuts down your higher brain or your CEO brain, your adult brain, that prefrontal cortex where all your good decision making lives. So in that moment, you literally cannot think as clearly. You can't access your logic the same way. The takeaway here is that this is not a character flaw. You don't do this because you're weak or broken. It's how your body learned to protect you based on your past experiences. When you understand that your nervous system has its own unique responses shaped by your story, and you can learn about those responses without shame, everything begins to shift. Now, number 8 is one of my favorite concepts to teach because it's so simple yet revolutionary. And this is found in episode 151. Your emotions have a 90-second reset button. When you truly feel an emotion, without resisting it, without getting lost in all the stories you tell yourself about it, it passes through your body in just about 90 seconds. 90 seconds. That's shorter than most commercials. God designed our emotional system with this built-in reset button. The problem isn't the emotion itself. The problem is what we do with it. We either try to push it down, thinking I shouldn't feel this way, or we loop it endlessly through our thoughts, replaying the situation over and over. Learning to just pause, breathe, and notice where you feel that emotion in your body, and then allow the waves to pass, that practice alone can transform your emotional life. It sounds almost too simple, but I promise you, this works. Coming in at number 7, we're talking about the difference between making the waves smaller and becoming a better swimmer. And honestly, we need both. This is found in episode number 185, entitled Growing Your Capacity Over Time. Stress reduction is about eliminating stressors where you can. And if you're chronically overwhelmed, yes, something does need to change. But stress resilience, that's about building your capacity so that you can handle bigger waves when they come, because we all know they will. We want to find that Goldilocks zone, not too little stress, not too much, just that right amount of challenge. That's where growth happens. And when you understand your nervous system baseline and you start working with these daily practices, you're not trying to reach some perfect state of regulation. You're building resilience over time, widening your window of tolerance so that you can handle more without falling apart. That's the long game, and it is so worth it. At number 6, we're heading to Tanzania. This episode came from one of my hardest and most transformative experiences of my life, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. And that is found in episode number 145, entitled 4 Lessons I Learned Climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. I shared 4 big lessons with you. First, you simply can't understand challenges intellectually. You have to live through them. That's why Earth life is so essential for our growth. Second, pole pole, which means slowly, slowly in Swahili. A sustainable pace matters more than urgency. When you rush, you miss the journey. And third, this one still moves me every time I think about it. Jesus is our ultimate porter. Just like those incredible men and women who carried our packs and prepared camp ahead of us, Jesus carries our burdens and prepares the way ahead. And fourth, we're meant to walk together. We're fellow travelers, supporting each other along the path. Not everyone who attempts Kilimanjaro makes it to the summit, and that's okay, because the journey itself, that's what transforms us. The view at the top was breathtaking, but it wasn't what changed me. It was every step along the way. So we're halfway through our countdown at number 5, and we're exploring this beautiful concept that Brooke Oniki introduced me to, quiet wealth. And this is found in episode number 147. Here's the quote that really settled in with me. A fit body, a calm mind, and a house full of love. These things cannot be bought. They must be earned. And not earned through hustling or grinding or exhausting ourselves. They're earned through aligned, peaceful effort. This is about creating the life you want without sacrificing what you already have. It means prioritizing all areas of your life, your relationships, your physical health, your spiritual connection, your meaningful work, not just chasing one thing in the expense of everything else. Real wealth isn't about showing off. It's about creating what you value most. When you prepare yourself in times of peace, when trials come, and they will, you're ready. You've given your future self an incredible gift. That's quiet wealth. Coming in at number 4, we explored Chad Ford's incredible book on conflict transformation. This is found in episode number 150, entitled The Power of 70 times 7, Becoming Peacemakers. I think this resonated with many of us because we've been taught to avoid conflict at all costs. But what if we've been getting it wrong? Conflict isn't the problem. Contention is. There's a big difference. Chad walks us through 4 powerful principles. First, love your enemies by seeing their divinity, even when it's hard. Second, be a stone roller, not a stone thrower. Look inward at your own contribution instead of just pointing fingers. Third, this one requires some real courage. Take the risk of embrace. Engage with people rather than fighting, fleeing, or freezing. And fourth, practice creative restoration by calling in with love rather than calling out with shame. Peace is not the absence of conflict. It's the presence of reconciliation. When we understand that, we can actually step into hard conversations with courage instead of fear. And at number 3, I had a powerful conversation with Jennifer Townsend about healing from betrayal. But honestly, these insights apply to any of us navigating hard seasons. Jennifer said something that I think changed how a lot of you see emotions. When you feel your emotions rather than avoiding them, you free yourself to experience the full spectrum of life. Think about it. If you resist sadness, you can't fully feel happiness either. You just go numb. Moving through trials instead of getting stuck in them means actually allowing anger, shame, and grief to flow through you instead of judging yourself for having them. For those of you healing from betrayal, Jennifer talked about how this looks: rebuilding your confidence, learning to trust yourself again, establishing real boundaries. And here's a big one: refusing to carry other people's shame for their choices. That last one is so important. We can't carry someone else's shame and expect to find healing. We just can't. Coming in at number 2, we had a conversation with Dr. Jennifer Finlayson-Fife about her new book in its episode number 180, That We Might Have Joy. Dr. Finlayson-Fife teaches us that desire is actually a spiritual act when it's about eros, not indulgent wanting that's trying to fill a void, but that higher longing to commune with divinity, with mystery, with each other. This is the life force that encourages us to become something more. It's what helps us step out of our ego, out of our justified self, into the uncertainty of truly caring about another person. Eros isn't just about physical pleasure. It's the yearning for the whole person. She taught us that relationships die when we stop being open to the mystery and difference in our partner. They thrive when we choose the courage to know and to be known, to be witnessed and to witness. That vulnerability, that's where we find the divine. And here we are. Your number 1 most listened episode of 2025 is my conversation with Amanda Lauder about embracing your sexual self in midlife. And this is episode number 146. Can I just say, the fact that this was your top episode tells me you're ready to have honest conversations about topics that matter. You're done with the silence and shame that so many of us have inherited. Amanda shared her own journey, how sex doesn't automatically become great after marriage. The switch doesn't just flip just because you have a ring on your finger. For so many of us, addressing the beliefs we carry, working through shame, and having honest conversations about what we actually want, that's the work that transforms intimacy. Communication about desires, boundaries, and what you both want in your marriage creates real connection. Your beliefs about sex, about your husband, about your marriage, they directly impact your experience. And when you can learn to see yourself as worthy of pleasure while honoring your faith, that's when you can create a healthier, more integrated approach to marital intimacy. This isn't about throwing away your values. It's about bringing all of who you are, body, mind, spirit, into wholeness. And there you have it, your top 10 episodes of 2025. Counting down to the most listened to conversation of the year with Amanda Lauder about embracing your sexual self in midlife. What strikes me as I look at this list is the common thread running through all of these episodes. They're about coming home to yourself, coming home to your body, to your emotions, to your relationships, to your faith. They're about integration, bringing together all the parts of who you are instead of compartmentalizing or hiding pieces of yourself. These aren't just podcast episodes. They're real transformation happening in the lives of women like you, women who are learning to regulate their nervous systems, who are climbing their own personal Kilimanjaro, who are choosing to engage in conflict with courage instead of running from it, who are creating quiet wealth in every area of their lives. As we move into 2026, my hope for you is that you'll continue this journey of becoming, that you'll practice feeling your emotions for 90 seconds instead of avoiding them for 90 days, that you'll see conflict as an opportunity for connection rather than a threat, that you'll organize your spaces and your heart with the same intentionality, that you'll extend grace to your nervous system when it's trying to protect you. And maybe most importantly, that you'll remember you're not walking this path alone. We're fellow travelers together, supporting each other, learning from each other, and celebrating the small wins along the way. If any of these takeaways resonated with you, I encourage you to go back and listen to the full episode. Sometimes we need to hear something at just the right moment, And what didn't land 6 months ago might be exactly what you needed today. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for showing up, for doing the hard work, and for being willing to grow. You inspire me every single day. If you'd like personalized support as you apply these concepts to your own life and relationships, I'd love to walk with you in the one-on-one coaching. You can find me at seasons-coaching.com or on Instagram at seasons_coaching. Here's to a year of growth, transformation, and choosing joy even in the middle of hard things. Until next time, my friends, be kind to yourself. Keep practicing and keep growing.